President, we love you, sir. We love you.
Thank you. What a nice gift. Thank you. Is everything okay? Is everything okay?
Yes.
Now, I don't think we have too many golfers in the group, but you have people that can really handle a bite. You better open a bite. I just want to thank you all. And where is Terry Beck? Is Terry
Beck? We love Terry. We love
Frank
Terry.
D'Amelio. Frank, where's Frank? So great.
Terry, we love you. Terry, we love you.
Say a few words. First of all, she is a patriot. She is incredible. She started working with our people. We did it last year. We're so great. How are those hats? They're beautiful.
We love him, Mr. President. We love him. We love you.
Next year, and then we have a few months, and we're going to have an election, and we're going to turn our country around.
Yes.
Our country has never been in such danger. We have, in my opinion, more danger from within than from without. There is nuclear danger from without. I still say we have more, because if you have the right guy within, nothing's going to happen on the outside. And we have a man who's the most corrupt president in our history.
Amen.
He's the most incompetent president in our history.
Amen, we do.
What he's doing in terms of almost everything, he's going to cause a third world war. And this is not going to be a war with bicycles. This is a war with nuclear weapons, and that's the worst. This will be a war like no other, and he is leading us right into a third world war. He's a disaster. He's an incompetent disaster, and we have to change it. I just want to thank everybody. Terry, say a few words, please.
We want to thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Always pray for your family. We fight at the corner. We do our thing. We support you, and we also fight against the people trying to get you.
Amen.
We also spew out statutes and laws against anyone fighting against us, because that's what law of the land is, what rules. So they can't fight with me. Obviously, they can't fight with you. This is America. You don't like it?
Yeah. We love you, Terry. Terry, we love you. Terry, we love you.
Anytime you can call. We're always on the corner.
Rudy, we love you.
That kept a lot of people away from the corner, I want to tell you. The wrong people. Oh.
Rudy!
Yeah, but in the meantime, you're with us. You're with us.
Yeah, send me down. Mr. President, we have a blanket for you.
We need you, Mr. President.
I agree. Stay right here, okay? Really a good woman. So, go ahead, Terry.
Terry!
So, I've been saying these phrases, and every time I say them, other people pick them up, like run the sanctimonious.
Abolish the
We're a nation in decline, you know that. A nation in decline, serious decline in my opinion. You take a look at what's happened. We were so powerful, so strong, so respected 4 years ago, and now you look at what's happened to our country with the borders. How about they try and justify the fact that millions and millions of people are coming in, crossing the border, coming in from mental institutions. Actually, they say, please don't use this term, sir, insane asylums. That's a mental institution times two. That's a Silence of the Lamb mental institution. Right? But they're coming in from insane asylums. They're emptying out into our country. They're emptying out from jails and prisons all over the world, not just in the countries near us or South American countries. All over the world, they're coming in. And you look at Madison Avenue in New York the other day with thousands of people all over the place. And nobody knows what to do, and the Democrats are afraid to say anything. They don't want to say anything, and they're trying to pretend like it's okay. What's happening is they're destroying our country. They're ruining our country. And we can't let it happen. Chicago is a disaster. Los Angeles, a disaster. They don't do anything against Antifa, but they take others and they throw them in the clink. They take... Antifa kills people. They've killed many people. Nothing happens to them, and they take wonderful people.
They're criminals.
Who are at a protest, and they put them in jail for fairly long periods of time, and sometimes really long periods of time. And we're going to take care of it. This is very unfair. What's happening.
We love Trump. We love Trump.
And I just want to say, we're going to come back. We're going to have an election. You know, they cheat like hell, and everybody knows. You know, Whether you even just go to modern day cheating, because if you just go toward the end where they had Twitter FBI, they call it Twitter files, where you had the DOJ working with Amazon and the rest of them and Google and all of this stuff. They admit all of this stuff. If you look at, I think was incredible, you take a look at our great patriots who did all of the vote scanning using government machinery and government tapes, and they showed all of the horrible things that happened during the election with the jamming the votes, with the whole thing, and it's on tape. The judges didn't want to look at it. Nobody wants to look at it. But you know what we're doing, and there's plenty of things going on that front. But the way you win is you gotta get out, and we gotta win in a big fat landslide. You know, there comes a point where they can't cheat, but they're cheating people. And they have to cheat. They have no choice. They have open borders. They have no voter ID. They fight voter ID. Why do you think they don't want voter ID? That's called
cheat, never beat.
You know what it's called? It's called voter identification. And they're against it. Actually, Democrats aren't. If you go to the people within the Democrat Party, 84% of them want it, but the leaders don't want it, because when you have high taxes, high interest rates, anybody trying to buy a house lately, you can't buy one because you can't get money from the banks. But you have all of these things. When you look at Afghanistan, what happened in Afghanistan, I think it was the lowest moment in the history of our country. He took the military out first. No, you take the military out last. And we had, right here, 4 days ago, we had the families of those great 13 people that was killed. And by the way, people don't talk about it. You had 36 that were horrifically injured. Nobody talks about that. And then you had hundreds of people that died from both sides, all because of an incompetent president. The man's incompetent. He's a terrible person. He's willing to do something that nobody's ever done in this country. They do it in banana republics. He wants to fight an election and win an election this time by using injustice, okay? Right. The Department of Injustice. We have that. It is so corrupt what they do. When you look at what happened with Justice and FBI, when you look at the Department of Justice and FBI, what they've done over the last number of years is just not even believable. So he's willing to weaponize all of this so-called Justice Department stuff and go against his opponent who's killing him in the polls. We're killing him in the polls. We're beating the Republicans very easily. We're up by 60 points. And I wouldn't hope negatively about Republicans. Some I won't, but with the sanctimonious, he's crashing. I mean, his polls are down.
Guys, thank us has to go.
In third place now. But he came to see me. Well, nobody even talks about it. Please, do not call him a fat pig.
How about Krispy Kreme?
Do not call Christy a fat pig.
How about Krispy Kreme?
You're not supposed to do that. They say it's politically incorrect. He's not a fat pig, actually.
Yeah, get that logo.
Krispy Kreme.
Pretty close. Anyway. But with the sanctimonious, because Christie's down at 1% and 2%. I don't know why he's running. Well, he's running because, I don't know, wants to get a job in CNN, I guess. But with the sanctimonious, he came to see me, wanted support. He was dead. He was losing his election in a landslide. It was over. They were having the primary shortly thereafter. Sir, I'd love you to endorse me. And he helped me a little bit, along with 150 other congressmen. He go on television, talk about impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2. He talked about this stuff, for his own benefit. As it turns out, it's really for his own benefit, not for me. But so he helped me. I said, all right, so the man, Adam Putnam, his name, he was the Department of Agriculture. He was the commissioner. And Adam Putnam was winning by a lot, by like 40 points. That's a lot. And he's winning and doing great, and the thing is over. They're going to have a nomination soon. And I say, all right, let's see if I can help you. I didn't think George Washington, if he came alive, or Abe Lincoln could help him. I said, Ron, you're so dead, I don't think anything's going to work. He said, sir, if you endorse me, I think I'll win. So I endorsed him, and he went like a rocket ship, and he ended up winning. Then I helped him get through the election, because he was winning against a guy who turned out to be a crackhead, but at the time he was, right? At the time he was like, in fact, they said he was going to be the next president and all this stuff. He was hot. And we did 3 rallies for the sanctimonious, and that was it. 4 years later, they said, will you run against the president? And you know what he said? I have no comment. You know what no comment means? That means he's running against the president. And they said, sir, please don't hit him. He's a Republican. I said, I don't give a damn. And we hit that guy so hard. He voted against Social Security. He voted against Medicare. You know, minor things like that, right? So he's dead. He's dead. He ran one. I think he goes down as having run the worst campaign in the history of politics, but I'm proud to say I think I helped. So I don't have any use for those guys. You know, a lot of my people, my geniuses that get paid all this money, they're political consultants, they said, sir, don't use that disloyalty thing. People don't care about disloyalty in politics. I said, I think they do. And I was right, they cared. And they don't like the sanctimonious, and they don't like a few of the others. Now, Vivek said Trump is one of the greatest presidents in the history of our country, so it's hard to say negative about him. You know, in fact, people say, why are you running? Why are you running? But I just want to thank you all. You're incredible people. You want to see law and order. You want to see a country.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And honestly, you get a fake press. You know, these guys are all about disinformation. They'll say you're terrible people, you're thugs, this. You know what you're terrible? You want to see no crime. You don't want to see people slugged and battered all over the streets. You don't want to see our shopping centers blown up. You want to see a nice society, a friendly society.
That's right.
And we were doing so well. We were on our way to something so special. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. Then COVID came in, and we had to rebuild it again. So we had the greatest economy in the history of the world. There's never been African American, Asian American, Hispanic American. There's never been an economy like this. Mickey Gallagher, please come up. I want to tell you, you don't know anything about this, okay? You ready? Come here, Mickey. So here's what I did. I did a little trick. I was in a golf tournament here, the Senior Club Championship, and I shot a 67. Who saw me hit the ball over there? Anyone see it? That's a real golfer, right? There's no, did you ever see Biden? He goes like this.
Biden's at the beach.
And then he said, oh, he's a great golfer.
Biden's at the beach.
I shot a 67. Here's the hit profession. So here's what I did. I had to do this. Now, Mickey gets about 4 or 5 calls a day, you know, but I had to do this. So I said to people, if you have any question about the 67, because I won the championship, I said, if you have any questions, call up head golf professional, Mickey Gallagher, and here's his number, and I put it on Truth. Truth is the best, by the way. Yes. Truth is the best. And his phone exploded. It exploded, right? It did. Mickey, say a few words to these people. These are great people. These are your people, except that he plays golf.
I can assure you, I can promise you that the 67 was a 67. I've played golf with the president all summer long, and it's far from the only 67. He has shot par or under par many times this summer. He's played great. So it's been a great summer. It's been a lot of fun watching you play golf, and I know how much you love the game of golf, not as much as our country, of course, but you love, I know you love these folks.
Go on the ride for 45, Mr. President. Go on the ride for 45, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have a blanket for him. We have a blanket hand knitted for him.
Where's Rudy? Is Rudy here?
Rudy is the greatest mayor in the history of New York, and he has been forced to suffer needlessly for telling the truth.
We have his
Because if
back.
you look, you know they say Trump was right about everything?
Yeah,
You
I
take a
have.
look at Rudy, take a look
Yeah.
at his record, take a look at what he
He's
was saying
right,
about
right here.
Ukraine and all of the different things. Rudy Giuliani was the greatest mayor in the city of New York, in the history of the city of New York. He took that city when it was a hellhole and he made it the hottest place there is, and he's incredible. And for him to get indicted by a lowlife, by somebody that has no idea what she's doing, is a disgrace to our country. And they say it's a disgrace what's happened when a president is a president, and we have more votes than any sitting president in history. For a president of the United States to go announce I'm running, it's interference. It absolutely is. It's election interference. Announce he's running. Immediately go to the top of all the polls, Republican and against Biden, fake Biden, crooked Joe Biden. And then all of a sudden subpoenas start coming. A thing like that has never happened in the history of our country. And unfortunately, the Republicans are going to be looking at it too now, I guess, because they've changed it. They've made us a banana republic, because that's what happens in a banana republic. They go after people during their presidency, after their presidency. And I wanted to show respect, because I have very little respect for Biden. He's a terrible president. He's not a smart man. He wasn't smart 30 years ago. Not a smart person. He's not a leader. He's not a person that should be leading this country, because he's grossly incompetent. But you know what? Out of respect for the office, I took it nice and easy. I wouldn't say totally easy, but pretty easy. But now I don't take it easy anymore. Now I don't. So what's happened to our country, and what's happening to our country, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And we are going to win. We're going to prevail. We're going to make this country greater than ever before. And we're going to be such a big part of it. And I just want to thank you all, and I hope they took good care of you, but I want to thank you.
We love you, Mr. President. We love you.
We're going to meet here again.
Yes. New Hampshire loves you, Mr.
I
President.
want to ask you, since I like to build a We the People lawful militia, I want to keep building on it.
Okay.
And if you need any of us to testify anything, let us. I want to build it.
We have your back, Mr. President.
You have to do it on it, because they think they're going to try to shoot you down. But little do they know it's behind your face and behind your face.
We'll be asking for dismissals of all of this nonsense. We have judges that are, let's just say, questionable.
Innocent men rot in jail. Bribery.
I think in a couple of cases we may have very good judges, we have great patriots, but largely it's what's happening to our country is so sad. And it includes the judiciary, but I appreciate that very much. I think we're going to be in very good shape. I don't think the people are standing for it. What's happening, I don't think the people are standing for it. But when I see the level of love, I've never seen anything like it. Look, we had 2 elections. We did better the second time.
Amen. Amen.
Millions and millions of more votes the second time, which is unusual, because usually a president, even if they win the second time, they get fewer votes.
Right.
Historically, they get fewer votes. Not in all cases, but if they get more, they get a little bit more. We got 10 to 12, that's only the ones we know about, 10 to 12 million more votes. Nobody ever heard of a thing like that. I was told we got 63 million the first time. I was told by McLaughlin, Fabrizio, all of the top pollsters, sir, if you got 63 million votes again, you win in a landslide. We got almost 75 million votes, and they said we lost by just a whisker, by just a few thousand votes. Our country is corrupt. Our country is going down the tubes. We got to turn it around. We have no choice. It's not like, see this life? I could have had this life. This is a beautiful life. But I will tell you, we have no choice, because we're not going to have a country anymore. In your case, they'll take your motorcycles away. Could there be a bigger punishment?
No, try that one. Try that
I think
one.
they'll have a hard time doing that.
Try that one.
They would try. They would try.
Yeah.
No, I know. And you know what? You have 12 million bikers, and I think we got about 12 million votes from those bikers, too.
Yes, you did.
So we love the bikers. We love the bikers, and we've been good to the bikers. We had something in Washington which we were very open with, and we did it, but I hear that the current group doesn't want it, but we had millions of bikers coming into Washington all the time. But now Washington, D.C. is no longer recognizable. It's tents, it's homeless all over the parks, these beautiful parks. Tourists have stopped coming. It is so sad what happened over a period of 2.5, 3 years, what's happened in Washington, D.C. When I drive through and I see 1 tent or 2 tents, I say, you got to get it out, because you can do that. Now you have thousands of tents, you have people, oh, it's so sad. And most importantly, you walk down the street, you get shot. They had 4 people over the weekend who were killed in Washington, D.C. People are afraid to go there. I want to federalize Washington, D.C. and run it properly. We want to clean it. We want to make it spick and span. We want to fix it. We'll do infrastructure. Topical. A lot of it's topical. It's rusty. I go down the highways. I'm in the real estate business. See the way this place is spick and span? We could have the whole place spick and span. But you go down and you see the dividers in the road. They're all rotten, rusty. If they're concrete, there's graffiti all over them. And you can imagine these leaders coming, presidents, dictators, people. They come in to meet with the president, and they look at roadways that are disintegrating, roadways that are filthy dirty with garbage all over. We're going to clean up Washington. We're going to get rid of the crime, all crime in Washington. We're going to federalize it. We have people running Washington. And by the way, so that's obviously, because this has been going on for 2 years, I've been saying this, that's obviously a conflict of interest. So obviously I can't have a charge in Washington. They have to move me. And maybe they move me to a place like West Virginia or someplace, but they have to move me because I want to clean up Washington, and probably people living in Washington, they won't be happy about that, but we really have no choice. We have a capital right now that's a crime-ridden, filthy, disgusting mess.
Swamp.
It's never been anything like it.
It's the
It's never
swamp.
been anything like it. They want to get rid of the Jefferson Memorial. Do you believe it? They don't want Thomas Jefferson. They don't want Lincoln either, but they don't want to say it. But they don't want Lincoln either. They don't want anybody. They changed in California where they have Washington, George Washington High School. Many, I think 31 or something, but many schools have taken the name George Washington off. What the hell did he do to deserve this? He's right now in his grave spinning, what the hell? I thought I did a good job, right? So I just want to thank you all. We're going to make America great again, greater than ever before, and we love you all. And thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Let's get a little music going over here.
Thank you for doing that.